Welcome, welcome to Celebrate Aging. I'm Vicki Marthaler, your hostess here at Emmanuel Community. And with me today, we have Phil Johnson.
Hi.
And Phil is here he is a resident here. He grew up in the area, and we're going to talk about some of these memories and about winter time in Minnesota and just how things were maybe back then. And I know that you grew up around the Cormorant area.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us about that?
Well, I grew up on an island, which is hard for a lot of people to believe, on Little Cormorant Lake. And next to Little Cormorant, we had another island by Danielson Island that was connected by a Broadway. But the only way we could get onto our island was by going over the bridge.
A bridge?
Yes.
You had a bridge.
And the bridge was all solid, except for the middle. It was open so you could go through with your boat to the other side of Little Cormorant Lake.
So you couldn't you couldn't drive a car over it?
Yes, you could, yeah.
You could drive a car over the bridge if it had a hole in it?
It was filled in with big 2x6s and that over that area.
Oh, so
And
you
then,
had to plan to take your car over it.
Yeah. And then when the dry years came back in the 30s, they filled it all in with dirt.
Oh, they made a road then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But for a while you had a bridge.
Right. And in the wintertime, we had to walk over to our neighbors where we had the car, or else my dad would take us over with the horses, with the bells on. In the wintertime.
Horses with the bells on.
And we enjoyed that. Those are some of the fond memories we had.
Now, you were also telling me, though, when you would take the horses to go to your car, which was in the garage at the neighbors, that you brought hot coals? Or?
Well, they would have mother would heat stones up in an oven, and they would put them in the sled, and then we have this heavy robes we put over us. So, I mean, we were toasty warm.
Okay, so that's how you kept your toes warm. Warm rocks. And then didn't you have to heat up the car? Because there's oil in the car, you didn't want that to freeze.
No. Well, we did that on the farm, but when there we would only stay so long that we knew it would start again. But in the early years, we would go drive across the lake, and I remember Dad carrying planks in the spring when it started thawing, and he would put them down, and then we'd drive off the lake to the shore. And
well, you kind of had to know the tricks to get on and off that island.
Well, my dad, he was good at that, but we as youngsters, we would worry about it.
I suppose. And, now, how did your dad make a living?
Well, he had a sawmill.
A sawmill?
And then he had a case tractor and trash machine that he would go out in the fall and trash. And the rest of the time, we had a small acreage, so we grew garden stuff. We raised our own hogs and cattle and beef, and then we would have some chickens.
Well, you were pretty self-sufficient.
Well, pretty much so. We tried to be.
Tried to be. Did you like working out in the garden?
Pardon?
Did you like working out in the garden?
Yes, I did. Since then, when I lived in DL, I had 4 flower gardens.
Oh, boy.
And my sister Betty, she's a master gardener now.
She is. She is very well known in this area as a master gardener. Betty Smith, that's your sister, right?
Well, she's been a lot of help to me.
Now, I know you have a sister, but you also had a couple of brothers, too, right?
I had a brother, Albert, Pete, Walter, Kenny, and myself. And my brother Albert, he passed away when I was 2 years old. He drowned. And then my brother Pete, he has passed away a few years ago. My brother Walt, he passed away about 20 years ago from cancer.
Okay. Now, when you were all at home on the island, at Christmas time, you had real trees in the house, right? You'd have a real Christmas tree? Tell me how you decorate it.
Well, my dad would bring the tree in, and he would cut the bottom off, stick it in a pail of water, and let it sit there for 3 days.
3 days.
So because at that time, we had to put candles on the tree.
You put real candles on the
Yes,
tree?
we did.
Oh.
And somebody had to sit and watch
I bet.
that not caught on fire.
Did it ever?
But,
okay.
no, that never did. But to me, it's one of the best memories I have because of the smell from the candles.
Oh, I bet it was beautiful.
There was, and you always had to set them up so they didn't touch another branch, like we do now with them. But those were good memories. I mean, they will always stay with us.
Now, on Christmas Eve, did you celebrate Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, or?
We celebrate on Christmas Eve.
Okay.
Yes, that was because it was a little hard for them to keep us youngsters under control.
Well, you had quite a household.
Yeah. But we did well. My mother was very religious. My dad was a work ethic, and I learned my ability to work with him, and learn about the good Lord, and going to church from my mother.
There you go. Well, those are everlasting gifts, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Well, I still have the Lord with me, so I have a lot to be thankful for.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Now, when we were talking too about winter blizzards, you said that there was a blizzard that you remember. Something about Rothsay. You were at Rothsay at a...
I was, after 41, I was at Rothsay working on a farm.
Okay.
And I remember listening to the basketball games at the tournament up in Fargo.
Right.
And they told the people not to go home.
To stay put.
There's a blizzard out there.
Uh-huh.
Well, we went and looked outside, sure enough. it was and the horses were out in the barn.
Uh-oh.
So the owner and I went down to the barn and let the horses in. We had a kerosene lantern, right?
You had a kerosene lantern. You go down, you let the horses in. I suppose you had to feed them and make sure they were safe.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And then we started back, and they must have picked up because we ended up in the milk house.
Oh. So you're going back to the house, but you miss it in the storm.
Yep.
You can get disoriented in a storm, can't you?
Yes, you sure can. And then they let up a little bit in the storm, and we saw the light in the house. Ooh. And the owner then said, "Now I know where to go."
Okay.
And that's
I bet you hung on to each other too.
Yes, we should. Well, he told me to hang on to him. He was quite a bit taller than I was.
That was a pretty big blizzard too. There were some people that perished in that storm.
A lot of them in the cars, because it blew so bad that the snow went in under the hood and shorted out, so the cars would stop.
Oh my word! That's a sad thing. Well, I'm glad you were safe, and you figured out how to get to the house, and
well,
I bet you were thankful.
The Lord has been with me.
He has. His hand is on you, isn't it?
Yes, He has, and I'm very thankful and blessed. I mean, that's why I'm still here.
And we're glad Phil is still here. And there's more memories to share, and I hope you, as you're listening to about the snowstorms and about threshing crews and all this sawmill business that Phil grew up with, that you too have memories, and I hope you're sharing them one with another. Well, Phil, thanks for joining us today, and continue with those memories, telling your stories, because they're worthwhile and they warm a heart. We pray the Lord is with you too. Have a blessed new year.